The city's transition team will be announced next Tuesday here at Government Center at 1 p.m. Some of the issues that we will be focusing in on are economic development, community development, education, personal finances, and public safety. There will be a chair of each committee, and within those committees there will be 7 to 10 individuals selected by the transition team who will head up those efforts. During the next several weeks, we'll be meeting with various department heads within city government to be briefed on projects which are occurring and on projects that will be occurring over the next 2 years. This is an exciting time here in city government, and we want to be able to hit the ground running come January 4th. Also, Steve Torres will be heading up the transition team. Attorney Torres will also be the corporate counsel for the city of Fall River. Steve is an attorney who has served under 3 mayors in the city of Taunton, Mayor Stroney, Mayor Crowley, and Mayor Nunes, and he brings with him over 10 years of municipal experience in municipal law, and we as a city are fortunate to have him joining us come January.
Has there been a use of outside legal services? In the past, I know on LNG you spent a fortune, and there might be other things, whether it's labor or litigation, that you've used outside counsel. Is there a separate line item for that budget?
In the past, well, there's one line item in the law department budget, which is called accounting, legal, and other services. I believe we can pull it up in the budget.
Sure, I can look at it.
Is that one?
These are collective bargaining.
Oh,
agreements. The other budget's out there.
Okay.
That's
Well, some of those are mine, because I was
so
a
there you
union
go.
lawyer down here years ago.
Oh, really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that. All right.
I represented the unions down here in the 90s.
That would be a good value then to be able to go through it a little bit easier. There's one line item for other services like that, and then another line item specifically for LNG.
Okay.
The past couple of years, we really haven't used any outside attorneys other than the LNG attorneys.
Okay.
There's been some very specific cases, particularly the New England gas suit with property owners out in the Tiverton Fall River line.
Mhm.
I don't know if you're familiar with that at all. There was some outside attorneys retained for that. Outside of that, I'd have to go back through my notes, but I don't believe we've used many outside attorneys. Labor attorneys, we've had the in-house labor counsel. In the past, there has been outside labor counsel.
Yes, I recall, and they used outside.
But yes, there is a line for the usage of outside labor.
Okay.
Outside legal services.
So because we're looking at the Mayor-elect's direction, I'm looking at cutting all the costs we can from delivery of legal services, and sometimes those budgets can be somewhat bloated.
Yeah.
And then
They were
try
modest
to-
this year, but in past years.
We have a land court attorney, didn't we contract with a firm for land court?
That's a zero-sum cost, though. They don't, we don't pay them unless they
get a, whatever they.
Yeah, well, I shouldn't say that. We pay them, but we receive back and more with the taking, the tax title taken. So that's more of a zero-sum payment. And that's out of the treasurer's office. And again, it's clearly something that you can choose to do in-house.
How do we
if you
know
wanted
who
to.
the firm is representing us on that, Adam?
It had been Tarlow Breed. We newly awarded a contract. I'm spacing on the name. Firm not in Boston. I want to say something like Cipollini and Cipollini, but it might not be that. I can have Dan.
What's our fellow?
Capola.
That's it.
Coppola.
I believe
Okay.
it's Coppola.
Excellent tax title firm. Now, does do you in the city have an accumulation of tax possession property that has been on the books, property that has been foreclosed, the city owns and has not been able to dispose of yet?
I don't believe we have a very large.
Not a large inventory?
No, we seem to be moving them pretty quickly through the process.
Great. That's always a good source of alternative revenue.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
And, excellent. Who manages I know that you have a public-private partnership on the existing landfill with Allied Waste. What department and what individual administers that contract with the?
It would be the newly formed 2 years ago Sanitation Enterprise Fund or Sanitation Division within the Department of Community Maintenance. And it would primarily be a partnership between Ken Pacheco as the Director of Community Maintenance and Ron Ryu, who's the Manager of Sanitation or Director of Solid Waste.
Okay. And those are the divisions you talked about earlier, the consolidated DPW, and the division head of DPW also